Welcome back to Bbpn. I'm your host, Cadet Tank, and it is playoff season. Yes, the most exciting time of the year, especially if you're one of those 16 dreamers that are trying to make their dreams come true and win a NATTS championship. So, in this video, we cover everyone that made it. Yes, this is the last MD before the playoffs. They will cover who made it, they will cover the teams, and I believe one of the casters even started making their predictions. Yes, they fill out their NATTS bracket challenge right there in front of you. Try not to steal all Panda's picks. Okay, so without further ado, let's get this show on the road with Callisti in the VGP division.
Hello and welcome to what promises to be yet another thrilling installment of action from match days 4 and 5 of Season 10 NATTS League VGP Division Round 2. I'm your host, Callisti Mayer, the Golden Apple of Discord, and this week we have a really exciting, thrilling finish to Round 2. So the teams in VGP Division Round 2 have been battling it out, and teams that were at the lower end of the leaderboard at the start of Round 2, so match days 1 and 2, are now finishing it towards the top of the leaderboard. Teams that started out well are at the lower end, and teams that were doing terribly are still doing terribly. Okay, so let's get straight into the action, and then we'll give you a final review of the teams, and then some sort of predictions on who's going through to playoffs and who's not, and how teams are going to do, how I think they're going to do. All right, so let's take a look. So all the games have been played on match day 5, so there's going to be a lot of guesswork here, but match day 4 was played in full. So we started off with Twist and Shout, the Playoff team, coached by Splinter. And they fell to the Mean Green Dream, coach's Laser Dentist, a newer coach to the league. Then we had the Blades of Cain, coached by Hikaru 2000. And he took on Ace Pilots, and that was a 1-1 draw. And then we had the Adeptus Astartes facing off against the Nurgle team, the Nurgles, and the Nurgles were able to clinch a win there, 2-1 win, further cementing the Nurgles reach up the table. Moving on to match day 5. So only one game's been played, match day 5. You're all slipping, you're getting a little bit lazy as you're on the road to the playoffs here. With only one more second. Oh yeah, okay. So only one match has been played. It was the Horus Heretics versus the Nurgles, and the Nurgles won that one 1-0. The reason why I had to pause and look is because we had two teams with the Warhammer 40,000 names for the team names, and I thought it was the same team playing the same team 2 weeks in a row. But no, it was Ace Pilot fell to the Nurgles, Storms the Nurgles in a 1-0 loss. So we still have to play. We have the Adeptus Astartes versus the Mean Green Dream, and I'm predicting a win for the Mean Green Dream, and then I'll even give you a score. I'm going to say a 2-1 win for the Mean Green Dream. And then we have the Blades of Cain facing off against Twist and Shout. And I think that if this had been a few weeks ago, I would have said Twist and Shout for sure. But they seem to have faltered in the last few matches. So I am going to pick the Blades of Cain to win this one, or maybe it might even be a draw, but no, I'm going to pick the Blades of Cain to win this one, and I'm going to pick a 1-0 win for the Blades of Cain. So let's take a look at the leaderboard. Bearing in mind that we still have 2 games left to be played, so it's going to have a lot of impact into the final standings. So we have top of the tables with 5 games played. We have the Nurgles with a 3-1-1 record. Then closely followed by the Mean Green Dream, coached by Laser Dentist, a 2-2-0 record. They still have a game in hand, and I predicted they were going to win it, so they're actually going to finish, if my predictions come true, on a 3-2, so they're going to finish top of the division. The Blades of Cain and Twist and Shout were the other team to play their game. The other team, to play their game, and they are both on the same points. They both have a 1-2-1 record. So if they end up drawing this, which might happen, then it's going to come down to the tiebreakers, which is never a good way for a team to advance. And if my predictions come true, then Hikaru's going to be going through. In fact, unless the Adeptus Astartes win their game against the Mean Green Dream, both of these teams are going through. Hikaru and Splinter are both going through to the playoffs. Just one of them will be in 3rd, one of them will be in 4th. We do know that Storm's not going to fall below 2nd place, although he is likely to fall to 2nd place. I really don't think the Mean Green Dream is going to lose that game against Cadet Tank. Cadet Tank's an amazing coach, very, very strong, especially with humans, but this just really has been a really, really bad season for him. He's really sort of not had the luck on his side. So my prediction is going to be Mean Green Dream 1st, the Nurgle 2nd, Blades of Cain 3rd, and Twist and Shout in 4th place. So it means we're going to be saying goodbye to Cadet Dank and Ace Pilot, so they're not going to be going through to the playoffs. Obviously the battle for 1st place is going to be a good one. I'm not sure if with a 3-2-0 record is going to face the 1st place in this division against the wildcard team. I think that's the best 1st place, and I don't think that even if the Mean Green Dream win, I don't think they're going to have a best 1st place. I think there's some other teams in other divisions that are finishing 1st that are going to be facing that wildcard team, which is there, and they're going to be the 1st seed. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the teams that are going to be going through. So Horus Heretics definitely aren't going through. Nurgles, so let's take a look. They're either going to be finishing in 1st or 2nd. Let's see how they're developing. Well, I would definitely say that this team is reached that sort of tipping point where playing Nurgle goes from being a sort of a real pain, to actually being quite fun, because you get to hit things and you don't have to worry too much about those 1 in 36s or 1 in 9s, and you just get to sort of have some fun bashing people and slowly scoring. He's got some nice guard. He's got 2 guard pieces. Probably hoping for a little bit more than that. Definitely want to make sure that your pieces have block, they have guard, and then you start moving into the Mighty Blow and Claw territory. He has gone for Claw on this Pestigore. I would have developed Mighty Blow first. Next level, he's very, very close to leveling, so next game, if you can get him a level, definitely Mighty Blow. This is going to become your killer piece, and he's definitely going to need some tackle at some point as well. Playing against those more dodgy teams without tackle is going to be a headache. So what do we have that's going to be close to leveling? Not much really. I mean, you can give tackle to some of these rotters, but that's going to probably be a waste. Definitely would get Mighty Blow on Rook, and then maybe he can get Amar leveled up, and then get tackle on him, or guard. Guard is just always good. Okay, so that's the Nurgles. Then we're going to look at the Blades of Cain. Very beefy TV there, 1750. So he's definitely leveling up well. I don't even have to look at the team to know that there's definitely some good stuff going on there. It's a 13-man team, so there's a lot of TV that's just coming from these 2 players on the bench. He has 4 team rerolls. Again, that's another reason why the TV is probably a little bit higher. It means he's going to be giving up. Sorry. It means he's going to be giving up inducements. But the team development of what he has is good. He has a lot of blodge. We have a blodge sidestep witch. We have a blodge witch. We have a blodge, 2 blodge tackle blitzers, a blodge strip ball blitzer, a block mighty blow blitzer. Just needs to get another injury or a touchdown, and he'll be blodging away as well. We have 2 runners, both on 0 SPP. We have a lineman with kick and guard. That's a nice, valuable piece. We have 2 wrestle linemen, and we have another lineman with dodge, and then we have is that a sneaky git lineman? I'm never sure about sneaky git. It's one of those skills that, I mean, it's good when you have dirty player, but sneaky git by itself just means that you can foul and not get sent off unless you do some damage, in which case you will get sent off. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay, but I probably would have gone for dirty player before I got sneaky git. The other criticism I have for this team, well, there's a few. One is that he's got too many team rerolls. I actually think I mentioned it to him in chat a little while ago, and he's like, "Well, no, I need my rerolls. If you see my games, you would see that." Well, I think it's going to be that's a little bit of a crutch for you. I mean, no problems for me. I mean, if I end up playing you in the playoffs, then I'll be happy that you're bloated by 100k. Probably means I'll be getting myself a wizard. But yeah, definitely I would think about ditching one of the team rerolls. It's going to hurt you more than help you. And the other thing that I think I would change is those 2 witches. At least one of them I would have given wrestle. And then I would have given strip ball or tackle. Strip ball probably. That way you've got a nice ball hawk piece. And then the other one, when they leveled, I would have gone for block, but I would have also gone for juggernaut. And then you've got a great crazy surfing piece as well. We're getting to that stages where pieces have stand firm. And they have wrestle and a nice witch with frenzy and juggernauts is able to serve pieces, and it doesn't matter if they're a stand firm piece, it doesn't really matter if they're a wrestle piece. You're just going to be ploughing through those pieces, and you're being able to surf them no matter what they have, which is great. Other than that, great team. I'm sure he's going to do well in the playoffs. Moving on, we have the Mean Green Dream, probably the division champions for round 2. And this is actually a more modest team than I thought it would be. So Laziness is obviously a good coach because he has great development, don't get me wrong. You know, we've got the 3 blitzers with block and guard, that's great. We have one of those is blodge, sure hands. I can see that you've thought that you needed a ball carrier. I think I've mentioned this in my last video, is that if I was going to develop a ball carrier, I would get a thrower and then just let your blitzers be blitzers. Getting guards on him is great, but having a guard piece, that's a ball carrier as well. Yeah, a little bit confusing. And then we've got the killer piece, which is marvelous. Your Black Hawk blockers, they are developing as fast as you can develop them. You went for block rates. You've got one that's got block and he's got his second level, which he's got guard. That's great as well. You just need to get SPP on this fourth blocker, get him guard or block, and then you will be set. And yeah, just try and get as much SPP on these Black Hawks as you can, because once they start leveling up, you're nigh unstoppable until you face off against teams with a profusion of claw and mighty blow. Then your vaulted AV9 is going to mean shit. But yeah, great team. You're probably going to finish top of the division, so you're doing well. And then the last team is Twist and Shout. So this was the round 1 division champions. Probably going to be facing off, finishing the round 2 in the 3rd spot or maybe the 4th spot. So you have pieces that are literally making me drool. I'm playing Pro Elves right now, so you've got these 2 linemen with agility. One has a niggle. Is that niggle? Yes, it is. We have a movement up blitzer. We actually have 2 blitzers. One's out right now. The one that's out is Blodge Step or Dauntless, and the other one is movement up, Blodge Step. We have a lineman with Dodge and Strip Ball. If you can get another level on him at some point before the end of the playoffs, then yeah, Wrestle be nice. And then we have a guard, a block lineman. And then we have 2 catchers that aren't leveled yet and another catcher with Dodge. This overall is a good team. Splinter's obviously a good coach. He was leading this division in round 2 at one point, and he definitely won round 1 in this division. So obviously he knows what he's doing. He's doing really well. He's probably going to do okay in the playoffs. But your team development hasn't been. You do have these startup pieces which are great, but they are just agility 5 pieces. They don't have skills to make use of that. You don't have the built-in rerolls of a sure hands or a pass skill. You don't have dodge, so everything is like one roll, and then you're using team rerolls if you have them. I definitely would love to see these pieces level up a bit more, and then I'd be a little bit more confident in you doing amazing things with them. But still, they're Pro Elves. They're going to do well as long as they don't self-destruct. And that pretty much wraps it up for my coverage of round 2. As I said, I do have my predictions. I think Mean Green Dream is going to be first. I think the Nobles are going to come in second. I think the Blades of Cain are going to be third, and Twist and Shout are going to come in fourth. Could be slightly out on that, and the Adeptus Astartes might get a look in, but I think it's unlikely. And that, as I said, that wraps it up. And remember, there's scoring, and then there's Callisti scoring.
Nice job, Callisti, and as the only member of Bbpn to make it to the playoffs, I wish you the best of luck and lots of scoring. Now we will head over to the Panda in the MCC division.
Good afternoon, ghouls and goblins. Panda coming at you with the MCC, and we're gonna do a little something different. We're gonna do our end of round 2 coverage for the MCC, and we're gonna promote the playoff brackets and the Pick a Winner challenge. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I know you're all looking forward to it, so we'll jump right in. So, if you've been following along on the MCC, you know Plan Z snuck in. We've got all these other coaches, so let's take a look where our team value popped out. Amazon's, unsurprisingly, took quite a few entries. They're down 1170. Plan Z, we're hovering right around where we were. We didn't get too much. We got a single level out of round 2. The pink axes are down a bit. McMackey's Chorfs are up at 1400. Finn Hell with the Kimry are at 1470. And Superfeds at 1540. So there's a lot of skills rolled up into these guys right here. Vort lost a couple pieces, a couple critical pieces, but, well, I guess they wouldn't be too critical. They were just Blodger linewoman, but he's still running the 4 blitzers. He's got his thrower and his 84 catcher, so they're looking pretty nasty coming into the playoffs. Superfed's team. Look at them Chorfs. He has got the guard ball in full force. Guard ball, mighty blow. He's got a niggle on the hobgoblin, but he's got blodge. Wrestle, dirty player. Wrestle, dirty player, kick. So he's picked up a couple more levels. He's definitely rounded the team out. I'd like to see a strip ball player, but with Chorfs it might not be that necessary as you have the strength 4 break tackle blitzer. So yeah, let's get how the Kimry's doing with Finn Hell. Serious contender, I believe, to go for the cup. He's got a couple guard pieces. Obviously, he's got some injured skeletons hanging out at AV7. Kick, block, block, block. He's got a guard skelly. And a lot of Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow piling on. There's Sands, the killer blitzer. And, yeah, picked up Mighty Blow on a Tomb Guardian. Looks like fresh level. And he's got Mighty Blow guard on the top. Looking good. I'd still like to see him at 3 rerolls, but instead of running a 14 deep roster, the 80 and 50 would have put him really close to having the team reroll. So, yeah, apart from that, I mean, he looks like he has enough skills, so we'll see how it plays out. Plus, he's got leader, so maybe he might not want to border the 4 effective reroll. Yep.
How's the missus, Bob?
Looking nice. McMackey.
That don't mean I misses her. She took everything in the divorce, including my family.
Got a miss next on the bull.
Cow.
Yeah, just a mix next. So, Becky went with the Claw Mighty Blow. He's got his guard ball kicking up right at the end, and he's got the AG4 Hobbo with Wrestle and a single dirty player. And he's bumping 160k, so he's looking pretty nice money-wise going in the next round. He can go out of pocket for inducements or set himself up nicely to carry through the first round of the playoffs. We already covered Vort. Plan Z did not make the playoffs, so I'm not going to do my own team. I'm unsure if Tasserin actually made the cutoff due to the way the rules look. We'll get into that once we take a look off at the bracket, but I want to take a look at his team anyway. That is gross. He put dodge on... yeah, so I keep forgetting about this abomination of a black orc. It keeps showing back up. Strength 5, Mighty Blow, dodge. That's gross. And then he's got the blitzers rounded out. Nice. He's got the guard stand firm troll and a sidestep gobbo. Looking nice. 3 rerolls, 6 fan factors. So I'll be curious to see if Tasserin makes it in or what's going to work out with the Hooligan division. So with that, we kind of ran through the teams. Let's take a look at the leaderboard and see where everybody ended up for the season. Superfed goes undefeated with 5-0. McMackey comes in at 3-0-2. Bort and Finn tie for third place with 2-1-2. And Tasserin comes in at 2-0-3. And Plan Z, unfortunately, almost won 5 games but couldn't quite close it out. So it is effectively the top 4 out of here. So Vort and Finhell, depending on how the tiebreaker works, it'll determine 4th place for them. And then, obviously, the worst 4th gets dropped for the Hooligan Div. But not surprising, Superfed's on top. He's a very solid coach, but double Chorfs is going to be very hard for anybody to deal with. And it looks like they both came out on top. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get into I can't see because of the camera. We're going to take a look at Season 11. So, we're here on Challenge. So, let's see. Pastoral Symphony is Superfed versus Yarrick. Unfortunately, I'm going to give the winner over here as Superfed. I think he's going to come through and... Actually, you know what? We'll just do this together. I think Superfed's going to come on through. DeVipers is Luke versus McMackey. Those are both solid coaches. However, McMackey, I am taking... We'll just go ahead and do this while we're here, because McMackey is going to go all the way, and he's going to win. So, at least that's my pick. Not to bury the lead for you guys. Helix versus Nemo. I'm going to give Helix the advantage here. Storm versus Hikaru. It's going to be rough. I think Storm's more calm playing style with the Nerdgles is going to come out on top. And I think between the two, Dr. Helix's speed advantage is going to push out over the Nurgle teams. Coming down into the bottom of the bracket, we've got the Flying Floofs, which is Plaze, and the Castaway Rascals with Vapor. So I think Plaze is going to come out on top on this. It's just a gut feeling. I don't really have any concrete information here. And between... Oh, Callisti. Gross. The Diamond Dogs are still in this game. How does this work, guys? This Elf team was supposed to be out. Done for. And somehow they're here in the playoffs, so... Who knows what's going to happen here. Callisti versus Werecaster. I'm going to give the slight edge because Callisti likes to run the score up, and he's probably going to either get very aggressive or just throw his hands up and quit. And I'm going to line more toward the aggressive ball hawking style. So we're going to put Callisti over here, over the Norskin Wolves with my boy Werecaster. The Mean Green Dream Laser Dentist versus the Brickstown Varsity Vort. I want the Amazons to go, so that's just where we're going to go. This is gut feeling for Vort. He played very solidly in the Bash division. I don't think another Bashy team's going to hold him up too much. And then we got Finhell versus Kord. Kord, as much as I love you, Finhell's been putting it down. So we're going to have him advance to round 2. So, what do we have left? We've got Plaze Blue versus Callisti, which I believe is going to be an Agi-based game, the Flying Floofs being elves as well. Callisti is very proficient at playing agility-based teams, so I'm going to give him the edge here to advance to the next round. So, this is what's going to come down. I didn't see a lot of tackle on Finhell's team, so based on that, and I don't really think he's going to get too much SPP versus Kord, I'm going to give Vort the advantage up here to Callisti. And then for a final winner, or final match, it's going to be whether or not the strength pieces of Amazon can actually hit the dodgy style of Callisti is going to be what it comes down to. And unfortunately, I think Callisti's not going to make it past the semis, so I'm going to go Vort versus McMackey. With that said, I think McMackey is going to take it this season. I think he's shown he's a very solid coach. He's very methodical. He's playing Chorfs. And even though he ate a couple losses and didn't go undefeated like Superfed, I think that he's going to go all the way and represent the MCC division. So, good luck with that, boys. And McMackey, don't disappoint me, because this bracket, there's real money on the line. We got an Assassin's Creed code up, and it's sponsored by the VGP himself. So, get your bets in. Check out the forums, guys. And you know, as I always say, pandas never lose. We only win less.
Interesting pick there, Panda. Not the way I've seen this playing out, but what do I know? I haven't ever won, and the one time when it came close, 2 kills ran off with it with a series of upsets. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a quick word from our hooligan announcer, and then we will go to Scar in the CDT division.
The BBC would like to announce the next scene is not considered suitable for family viewing. It contains scenes of violence involving people's heads and arms getting chopped off. There are also scenes of naked women with floppy breasts.
Oh, sign me up then. Anyway, there we are. Regular season, all paid in, done. Go take a look, have an enjoyment of the cast. It was one crazy season. Well, guess what we're loading up into, lads? You got it. It's playoffs, and we're going to be bringing to you all the craziness, commentary, and just insanity as it goes. And yes, we've got a whole slew of new advertisers willing to pay me £5 to get in on the action. I'm all for that. Someone's going to pay me in this division, or this league for that matter. Anyway, go in, give a like, recommend, tell everyone to come in, and hopefully do the playoffs for all your wonderful 16 nuffle. Bless your dice. Otherwise, well, you're going to have some other things going on, aren't we? Tell me about it.
Alright guys, we had a really nasty start at the beginning of this round, but I believe in you. There is no more room for error. There is only one way to the playoffs, and that is to win both of our remaining games. I believe you can do it, so come on, let's show them what the Bretonians can do! Damn it. Hello coaches, this is Scar, your resident Dark Knight of the Void, here to give you everything you need to know about the CDT division. Well, this is my last bit of coverage for Season 10, before VG Purist takes the helm, and Bbpn waits for the start of Season 11. Let's just get through this quickly so I can go back into my dark corner and sulk. At the top of the 4th day, we have a 0-0 tie between the Castaway Rascals and Rogue Apothecaries due to a demon outbreak. This doomed my Apothecaries forevermore. Damn it, I was really expecting something more dramatic than this. Next up, we have Monster Apocalypse absolutely destroying the Grudge Bearers 2-0, and even managed to kill 2 of the stubborn guys. Next up, the Norscan Wolves beat the Tiger Rats 2-0, and even managed to rip the throat out of one of these filthy vermin. Now, for the top of the 5th day, a little bit of an upset, the Castaway Rascals managed to get away with a tie with Monster Apocalypse. That is impressive, I gotta say. Next up, the Rogue Apothecaries managed to beat the Norscan Wolves 2-1. Not like it really mattered at that point, but at least the Apothecaries weren't completely worthless. And finally, the Grudge Bearers managed to just roll over the Tiger Rats and win 2-0. I can't say I'm very surprised. Alright, now for what you've all been waiting for, the final rundown. In first place, we have Dr. Helix's Monster Apocalypse with an impressive 3-1-1 record. In second place, we have Kodaris' Grudge Bearers with a 3-1-1 record as well, but slightly less team value. In third place, we have Werecaster's Norscan Wolves with a 2-1-2 record. And finally, we have Vapor Gecko's Castaway Rascals with a 1-3-1 record. But that means my Rogue Apothecaries and Pumpkin Escobar's Tiger Rats are both eliminated. Forget looking at the teams. VG can do that somewhere else. Instead, I would like to raise the stakes a bit for this 5 and 16 teams. So here's the deal. Whichever coach wins the championship in this season of Death will win the game Darksiders War Mastered Edition for me. I wish you all good luck. Well, that's all I got for the CDT this time around. I felt like I became a better coach this season, and I'll be ready next time when my doctors make their triumphant return in Season 11. But until then, it's back to you, Cadet.
Good job, Scar. Well, you know what they say. Better luck next season, right? I hope. I don't know. Nuffle's kind of fickle. There's no way we could have 2 terrible seasons back to back, right? Right? Okay, let's get past this. Let's just get past this. Let's go ace in the Kord division.
Welcome back to Bbpn, and we are finally done with round 2 of the Kord division. After some extremely tough games, some tears, some rage, assault, tears of joy, tears of frustration, and probably a few broken keyboards, we are finally at the playoffs. So let's go ahead and look at days 4 and 5, see who won, see how my predictions did, and then we'll look at the leaderboards and then the teams going into the playoffs. So, Nurgle and Necro, I believe, or was it Undead? Undead. Tie 1-1 together, and I thought the Nurgle for sure were going to have this on lock, just with the more skills, but Undead show that they're a really good team, and tied up. The Flying Floofs beating the High Rock Horde 3-1, which was way different than I thought. I thought the High Rock Horde were going to hurt the Floofs, make them pay, and maybe grind out a win. And I also failed on this one for day 5. Diamond Dogs losing 2-0 to the NATTS Viper Gang. I thought Callisti was going to win out and finish strong. Before that, we had the High Rock Horde beat the Undead, though, which I predicted was going to happen 2-1. We had Luke's Orcs, the Viper Sense team, beat the Nurgle to my surprise 2-1 or 2-0. Again, I thought Nurgle with a little bit more skills was going to be able to control the Orcs, but it looks like the Orcs just ran rampant. And the other prediction I was able to make was, yes, Callisti Maya did beat the Flying Floofs, but it didn't matter because then the Flying Floofs won and he lost, so he loses that #1 spot. So, our final look here, and it's kind of the way I thought it was going to look outside of 1. So we do have the 2 Elven Unions, 1 and 2. Flip, though, I thought it was going to be Callisti at 1, Placebo at 2. But it's there, and then the 2 Orc teams at 3 and 4. With the NATTS Gang actually outdoing the Horde, believe it, of all teams, who is an extremely developed team. These 2 TVs look similar, but the NATTS Gang does have a deeper bench, which is causing the TV to look right there with them. The Horde are extremely well skilled, but they're number 4, and I believe this time around it's between all the divisions in the Hooligan division for number 4. Whoever has the best record / TV, I believe, goes in. But don't quote me on that because I haven't seen if they've changed it. Last I checked, it was the top 4 of each division go in. But we'll go ahead and look at these 4 teams. I'm sorry, Go Boy and Raisin, but better luck next season, man. I know the pain. I'm there with you guys. But let's go ahead and look at the 2 Orc teams and the 2 Elven Union teams going into this. So we'll start at number 4 with the High Rock Horde. So if he does get in, we do have a full complement team here, and as you can see, as I said, he is very well leveled up. We have the Tackle Pile On, Mighty Blow Blitzer, the Strength Up Tackle Blitzer, a Mighty Blow Tackle Blitzer, and a Guard Blitzer for support. Black Orc leveling up to Block and Guard, another one with Block and Strength Up, so he basically has a free troll without Stupid. And he even has Block. Both other Blackhawks have block alignment with block, and his thrower is level 4 with fend, block, and kickoff return. Excellent ball carrier, just needs dodge, and that really sets him up. And then, as I said, this is an extremely well-made team. And if he is going into the playoffs, I could see him going pretty deep with this build. Then we have number 3, the Vipers NATTS Game. And as you can see, as I was talking about skills, is he has one level 5, which is a blodge, strength up, strip ball, tackle blitzer. Amazing little ball hawk he has here. Black work with AG down block, with AG down, who cares? It's black work, they're not dodging. One is missing block, but I mean, he's one away, one SSP away, so who knows? He might get it, he might not. It would be extremely helpful if he does, though. But he does have 2 blitzers who have yet to even level, and one with Mighty Blow tackle, alignment with tackle block, and alignment with dirty player. I like seeing dirty player, that means he's going to be found alive, especially with a 13 deep bench. But no kick, no guard, only 2 tackle pieces, or 3 tackle pieces, one of which is alignment, so that's probably going to get tied up a lot. The blitzers, he's got to be careful with, especially that level 5. That is a key foul target for anybody with like a chainsaw, or anyone with a another dirty player, a death roller, anything that likes to foul, that is going to be a prime foul target. But he's shown he knows how he can play him, but in the playoffs, just this little amount of skills, depending on who he goes up against, I can see him dropping first round, sadly. And then we have Callisti Maya of the Diamond Dogs. And would you look at that? He actually has a full team for once. That's right, he finally has a full team. And as we go in, we have little China Girl who has a niggle, who I'm surprised has yet to be thrown out because he has no SSP. He's a niggled elf. That's an easy kill. But I guess he's there just for bodies. So it's his choice. A catcher with dodge, a catcher with strength up and dodge. So an extremely important player right there. A catcher with blodge sidestep. Blitzer with blodge, tackle, and leap. So there's your cage breaker. Blitzer here with blodge, tackle, and a thrower with AG5 blodge. So he has the 2 ball hawks who are running everywhere, making sure they get hits. He has the catcher with the sidestep blodge to get around, the catcher with strength to get through if he needs to hit something and get through. And then the thrower who can just make those deep bombs. If I remember correctly, the pros are supposed to be able to get 4 blitzers, I think. Which I should be able to see on this team. 1. Maybe it is only 2. But he's finally up to a full roster. He's got here with just 8 players. Now with 12, I can only imagine how much stronger he's going to be. Especially with just these key players leveling and the linemen there just more for fodder. This team is going to be extremely dangerous in the playoffs. And same goes to the Flying Floofs, who are going to be missing a player next game. Is it a niggle or just miss? Just a miss next game. Thrower with accurate and dodge. Catcher with a blodge tackle. So a ball hawk catcher, it looks like. A catcher, and here's this true ball hawk right here. Raj, strength up, strip ball. Amazing catcher right here. Guys, kill this thing. 1, it's an elf. 2, it's at level 5. It shouldn't be that high. And 3, it's an elf. It deserves to die. And a catcher with dodge. Alignment with kick wrestle, so he does it able to control the ball goals. And alignment with guard to kind of support. Blitzer with blodge and a blitzer with blodge tackle. The only issue I see is the lack of tackle, really. I mean, I know blodge is extremely important to get with only 2 tackle players. A dodgy team like another elf team, or say Skaven, Underworld, basically anyone that's really dodgy is able to get their hands on these guys and take them out early, it's going to really, really lower his effectiveness throughout the entire game. But other than that, I mean, he has two wrestle players, especially one with strip ball. So, I mean, unless you have sure hands, this guy's going to get you. But it's elves. He's also shown he knows how to play it, so he's going to do extremely well winning this division and getting the first seed out of the Kord division. So that's it. That's your 4 teams, I believe, going into the playoffs from the Kord. Nurgle and Undead being knocked out, sadly. And we shall see what happens as the playoffs go on next time. We'll see who out of the Kord division is still in, who's out. And I shall see you guys next time on Bbpn. See ya.
Great way to wrap that up, Ace. That was nice. I look forward to doing the playoff coverage with you. Alright, now let's go over to the last but not least, everybody's favorite division, the Hooligan division.
Well, that was it for the Hooligans. Boy, oh boy. Whew. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, lads. I had to admit, I just about nose-take spit me beer watching that finals. What a road this has been. So, let's go and review here. Hooligan division. It's going to be an interesting talk here about what went right, what went wrong. Let's review what happened. We're going to start things up here with the team that this cast in a minute I did predict was actually going to pull this one off. Marvel Elwins. So what went wrong? I will stand by here, absolutely, and I will beat you senseless if you say it was the coach. Coach had nothing to do with what went wrong with this team this season. You want it summed up, these ladies, it's the roughest road you've ever bloody seen. First round, look at the division they started in there. So much sucking tackle to start with. The fact that they actually just barely qualified in, get into the Hooligan division, and then what do they have to face in the Hooligan division? Well, as you saw there, they end up against one team that shouldn't be there. Dwarves, let's face it. Dwarves shouldn't be in the Hooligan division. They should be doing rather well. But as we saw, well, this has just been one of those seasons. This season of fatality. Look at the team how it can boast. He's designed it well. He played it phonetically well. You want me to just sum it up? What went wrong for this team? Nuffle. It sums it up completely and utterly. How he designed the team, how he played the team. They just ran into, of course, as you saw in the Guardcast in there, their last game, they were dominating the Hooligan division. And what happens? They run into a Kislev team that rolls not 1, 2 blitzes. Do your homework. It's the worst team to have a blitz against because it doesn't matter how good your screen is, they're going through you, and they're probably going to get the ball. And that's what happened to knock them down one notch, and then unfortunately, again, thanks to Nuffle in a separate game, he's got no control over it. It thus sets up, he now has to, for the second time, face the one team he's had difficulties with, but he can beat them, and he proved it. Give him an average day, he'll beat them. He says he got lucky. You know, I won't dispute the coach on that one there. It's Blood Bowl, lads. As Jervis will always go back and say, you got to be good, but you got to be lucky. And it's a dice game. It's the tragedy there. Next year, expect great things from this coach. Though I expect he's probably going to change over which race he's going to take. Right, let's keep going up here in order here of how things all went disastrously long. Let's look at the other pride and joy and the big surprise. Kislev. So what went wrong with this team, lads? You actually want me to put an insight in here and sum it all up. You know what went wrong with this team? Its starting roster was the first thing they did wrong. They didn't learn from Lando. Instead, they came in with only the one blitzer, a stack of linemen, 2 catchers, and they decided to invest heavily in the bear. Don't get wrong, the bear's a phenomenal piece once he got it developed. But the first 3 games, let's face it, Nuffle didn't like them, but if he'd had the blitzes, it probably would have changed things up immensely. When did this team finally start winning games? When he finally had his second and third blitzer, let alone a fourth. Suddenly this team went on a winning tear of, they only lost 1 game due to luck, their final game, but they won all the bloody rest of them. It's just, how do you explain what went wrong with this team? Well, you can see he got beat up, he got pounded, but again, he didn't have blitzers to start, so it's a lesson learned for all your Kislev coaches. I know the bear's tempting for you, but you want a bit of advice? Invest that money instead. Get blitzers to start instead of the bear. Get the bear later after you've got a couple of games. Listen to Lando, he's got the right of it there. And that's what finally went wrong with the Kislev team. As you saw in the final game there against the Ogres, they beat them the one day, and then the next day, the dice just wasn't there. It wasn't so much the Ogres having lucky dice. They had a few luck there. Again, it's Blood Bowl. But as you saw against them, they triple scored for the second time in a row, followed by a 1 in 27. That's Nuffle just saying, he's a cunt and he's going to take you to the cleaners. Well, that was the Kislev team summed up with what went wrong with them. Lesson learned. Buy blitzers first thing. Right, now let's go look at, this is the controversy. Let's go look at them here. There's your dwarves. And these, again, I'll speak up in defense of the coach. You've got to deal with the deck of cards and the dice thrown you. If you want to complain, he's had probably maybe even more than the Amazons. The Amazons got on the receiving end once, and that was a really bad day, as we all saw in the cast. But he's been on the receiving end too here. I'll defend. I've watched some of his games going back in there. It's how he ended up in the Hooligan division. You've got high-quality caliber coach. Because last season with the Dwarf team, this coach dominated, and then it just all went tits up, and it's just a bunch of bad matchups. And running into coaches who just, it was their game that round, and he just happened to be the unfortunate person on the receiving end of it. This season, you can see it now. Finally, the runners are doing something. But look at the numbering system. Both of them died, and you had to build and work so hard to try and get skills back. Troll Slayers. They kept constantly either being killed very early or knocked out. He had to replace them too. He's finally got one, and of course you see, by this point normally, a Dwarven team with its Troll Slayers has probably built up some pretty good combination of skills. He hasn't had that chance to do it because of the deaths. Runners, same problem. So this coach has had to deal with the deck and dice dealt him by Nuffle. For once, let's stand by and defend this lad. I'll defend him on this one here. He finally has not 1 but 2 games finally bloody go his way, where for once Nuffle's not getting his big heady sweaty balls on his forehead. Nuffle's actually, giving him a hand shandy in the bathroom. Hey, he's earned it. Considering the path he's had trying to get here. And bless his heart, he's a sportsman when it comes to that. He saw what had happened in that, big game against the Amazons there, and he was just a complete sport about it because he's been on the receiving end. And maybe, in the end, as one of my speeches, this is where I would support the Majestic Panda on that one. It's the tough part about Blood Bowl 2, the computer game versus the board game. There's one thing the computer game just can't do. Empathy. You can't see the eyes of your fellow coach who will reach over, buy you a beer and say, lad, I've been there. And this is from a coach who's telling you, I want 0 and 26 in one season. Losses. Think that one through. And then you wonder why I play Goblin sometimes, because I can tolerate pain. Of course, I wouldn't play this game sober either. Okay, lads. This is where we get the one team who say, you know what, we can even talk about what went wrong and what finally, bless Nuffle's cold, icy heart, went right. It's not Hooligan Division unless you get Ogres, We're going to have to rename this division. I'll vote for it. This is going to be the Yorick Division from now on. That's my feeling, and I'll support that because he's a Hooligan diehard. You want to know what went wrong with this team? See, now, let's start the speech here of how hard the road's been for this team to get out of this division. You're seeing something you haven't seen since the start of the season. He's got players. No, I'm not joking, lads. He's got players. This has been the criminal problem his team suffered all bloody season. He managed to keep the ogres alive and build them up, get up to the 6 ogres. But as you saw, he finally, in the Hooligan division, bought his 3rd reroll. 3rd. Remember, this is a team that he's put a clinic on, and Jimmy can suck it fantastically on how to play an ogre team compared to this coach. This coach knows how an ogre team at a professional level to win, not the Rambo Award, to win needs to be. So what went wrong? Well, these buggers kept dying, and time again, after they died, he'd roll a 1 for his winnings. So he had to save money, and save money, and save money to either make sure he had ogres, make sure he had the apothecary, and finally buy the reroll. Meanwhile, these poor sacrificial lads just kept dying. And when the ogre team does not have padding, and they need these snotlings for padding to do all kinds of wonders, he starts to suffer for it. So the fact he even made it, all because one coach did not accept his invitation to the Hooligan division. He said, nope, that's it. You didn't want to suffer the Hooligan division. Suffer, he says. What does this lad know about this division? It's the best division in the entire league. And, well, he got in there and he fought. And he fought. And you even saw Nuffling started hitting him still. But he kept fighting on. He got the 3rd reroll. He finally started getting survivors. He nursed this star, who, as I understand, they're carrying him around the stands alongside the guy, Jean Grey, who's being still carried around the stands by the sports from last year. Don't worry, they've been handing him up beers and squigs. He's feasting. And he's going to be the special guest attending the Final 16 challenge there, courtesy of the Kislev team, who apparently have paid the attendance for all the supporters. They're coming to cheer too, because they want to see this team do wonders. You can even look at the history. It's been absolutely brutal. Look at the statistics. The only wins that mattered, 2 of them, finally come down. Look at this hard march it's been. Look at the successful catches, touchdowns scored. He's not even a crippling. Yes, he's finally inflicting injuries, finally. And the most of that, you hate to admit it, look at the kills inflicted. He's finally starting to inflict that in his last games. But there you are. It's the champions of the Hooligan division. It seems to be a tradition now, and quite frankly, well, that's going to be a tradition in getting on season 11. We'll see what happens. Good luck to you. You well earned it. And going back, thank you four for the wonderful performance. You've shown everything from heartbreak to craziness to the insanity. That is absolutely the hallmarks of the Hooligan, soon to be the York division. And next year, lads, and especially for you there, you fine Hooligans and Snotlings, Nuffle, truly bless your dice.
Great way to wrap up the Hooligan division, the Scum. Man, you can't keep Calm York down. He is the man with them ogres. Man, I would know because he whooped my ass last season with them. Well, now that I'm sitting on the sidelines, I'm completely rooting for them. Alright, gents, that's all we have for Bbpn this week. Go fill out your brackets. Look out for the playoff review. That should be done by the Scum, me, and Ace, and anyone else from BBPM staff that really wants to do it. Alright, I will catch you next time. This is Cadet Tank signing off, saying sometimes win, sometimes lose, but never bet against me.